Strictly yellow bananas are the best.
All right. It's tied up 1 apiece. Game number 3 coming at you. Spawning here in the bottom left side of the map on Dusk Towers, we got the blue Protoss, Patience.
And the top right as the red Zerg, it's TCM Soulkey.
And again, sorry for doing it kind of on the run like that, but thank you again to Brooklyn StarCraft for subscribing to the channel. Now, one thing that's kind of interesting, and this is me going to talk about not the game for a moment, so I know, surprise, what else is new at Space Trade TV? We've been reading and seeing a lot of feedback and getting messages on the channel about this, about the in-game ads that we're playing for, not in-game, rather in-stream ads we're playing for TING. What kind of bothers me about this, though, is because I'm imagining, like, we already know, like, we're not crazy, guys. We know there's a high ad block rate on the internet, and that a lot of you guys don't watch our ads anyways, and this is reflected in the fact that we are literally making a third of the money this year than we were last year type thing at the same dates. But this is not about, like, a Base Trade TV feel sorry type thing. The conversation I want to have about this, though, is, like, if we don't play these commercials, there's actually no tournament to be had. And if you guys are enjoying any of these games, if you've enjoyed any one game out of like 60 games we cast, like, then those ads are totally worth it. Irami put something on Twitter that was kind of an interesting thing. It's not exactly like an accurate statement, but you know, one commercial, like one minute of commercials is totally worth 40 minutes to an hour of content, and that's what really how this works. Oh no, did I lag out? Soulkey lagged out. Okay, having a bit of a heart attack. So. Again, I know that it's not everybody's favorite thing to watch commercials, but keep in mind, even at the rate we play our commercials, it's still way less than anything you would see on TV or anything like that. Like, we try to be as responsible as we can. We keep them between games. We don't play them during games, all that good stuff. Oh my.
Oh, okay.
Oh my.
I just don't, I guess, I've never been bothered by, like, ESL, because ESL run in-stream ads all the time.
DreamHack does it too. It's a standard thing. I'm just so shocked that we've had such negative feedback about it.
Yeah, I guess it is. It's still the vocal minority, because there was like some guy made a Reddit thread a couple of days ago. They're gonna have to remake.
Yeah, everyone was smart. Like, that Reddit thread was good because all the responses were like, "You're an idiot. Don't be dumb." And again, I know it is the vocal minority, but I just want to stress to everybody, like, we're trying to be as responsible with them as we can. And I know it's maybe a pain in the ass for some of you, but that's going to be happening from here till the end of the tournament. Like, that's not going to change. That's going to be standard because we want to represent Ting well. We want them to see our commercials. Or, sorry, we want you guys to see their commercials. And I'm hoping some of you guys would even be willing to sign up for Ting. Because, again, they're putting $5,000 towards a StarCraft 2 tournament with potentially more behind it. I mean, that's exactly everything you want in a sponsor. They're not shady, they're legitimate, they provide a great service, and they save people money. Like, hello? Alright, Soulkey's back online. So we're going to have to recover replay for this one. Some of you may not have seen this before, but I think most of you have. But for the TLDR, this loads up the replay to the exact point in which the disconnect happened, and we'll just reload from there. That was a little abrupt and strange, but really, nothing was really going on. I'll re-ID off you. Here we go.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I guess maybe his computer just crashed. If that's the case, he has a really fast computer.
SSD
StarCraft probably crashed.
Actually, no, if he has an SSD, like, his computer probably could reset that fast.
No, not even that fast. I have an SSD. You have one. That's not that fast.
I think you have a bad SSD, man. It would be that fast. 100%.
I think my SSD is fine. It's super quick, but okay, buddy.
My SSD is bigger than your SSD.
It's actually... Well, actually, I don't know about your main computer, but I know that my laptop was better than your laptop.
Yeah. Well, that's actually not entirely true either. My laptop was only bad because it was super stressed with a million jillion things.
No, like, literally, my stats on my laptop were better.
Do we ever compare stats on a laptop?
Well, I took your stats to, like, because you were like, this is a good computer, and just, like, went to go find other, you know, sellers that maybe were cheaper. And I found one where you could get more of an SSD, so I have a bigger SSD.
Well, I was going to say, because I overclocked my laptop to try and do all the StarCraft stuff. That's why I was overheating. So I was going to say, stats-wise,
Makes sense.
Like I don't give a fuck if yours is better or not. I'm just saying, like, I don't remember we had done stat comparison.
Yours is just bigger. Because I really didn't want a 17.5 inch, whatever yours is.
17-inch, baby.
Nope. Nope.
All right, so getting right back into where we left off. Obviously, nothing really crazy had gone on. It wasn't early aggression. It wasn't proxy anything from either player. And Soulkey is just getting back home with that drone scout, which did, I believe, see the Nexus. Yes, it did.
Okay. So glad everything went smoothly, I suppose. Soulkey didn't actually have any problems. We were having problems, like, with MMA actually just disconnecting from the team house he was in or whatever. Of course, RIP MMA military 2016, but oh well.
I was gonna say, why are you gonna bring him up, man? It's like too soon.
Sorry. Soulkey just instantly reconnected. So it is 3 base versus 2, and it's Dust Towers. There's no reason for Patience to go for like a 2 base all-in on this map. 3 base is going to be the name of the game. 3 versus 4.
Pro block ends up working out for the most part. Just trying to make sure he didn't see that Stargate, but unfortunately he did. So for Soulkey's sake, I'm sure Spore Crawlers are probably going to come down. Even if they don't, again, we saw the Queens. They can deal with this pretty easily. Oh, I forgot to put the score back up after we reloaded in as well. So this is 1-1, Ace Match styles.
Oracle on the way is probably going to do as much damage as they did last game, which is not very much. Queens are once again in position, and in fact, a Spore Crawler. Blind Spore Crawler? No, not
No,
blind.
he saw the Stargate. I just went over that.
Yeah. But it's like it was only 1 now it's 3, so that's definitely to counter the Stargate.
Yep. Playing it safe and sound. Now, for Patience on a map like this, Dust Towers has a lot of benefits for both players because this is a map that you can more easily obtain a 4th on and more easily look towards playing very expensive tech routes out. I still think the most absurd game we cast was Lil Bao TLO, the whole triple robo thing, but
yeah,
I don't think we'll see that anytime soon. The Adept hopefully is going to be fat enough to block the wall. The Overcharge drives off the Lings temporarily, and of course the Oracle can deal the damage to clean them up if this gets out of hand. Soulkey does have a significant amount of Lings, and he's building more behind this, though, so I think he's really going to go for a kill on that 3rd, by the looks of it.
it is a lot of Lings. There is a situation where it's not that was actually really cool, where they don't have enough pylons up, and they don't have the SimCity already set up that Lings can cancel this, or almost guaranteed cancel, but with the stasis trap that was put down, that was pretty clutch. Might still lose it, there's just not a lot on the ground.
The Stasis Ward removing so many of these Lings from the fight, again, they come out now, as we see, but still, just that period of time where he was able to fight without them, really nice for Patience, but unfortunately, the Stasis Ward costs so much energy, so that Oracle's pretty much out of juice now, and it's just the Void Ray, which I guess this is starting to work. The Adept Warpins, I guess they're too threatening, and Soulkey has dedicated a lot to get this Nexus, and he's not going to get it.
Yeah. That does suck.
This is actually, I want to go back on this more than, I thought at the time,
Yeah?
like, the Stasis Ward was just cool, but that was actually amazing.
It was pretty perfect. I mean, it was kind of a bait, like putting a Widowmine underneath the tank, because it was right next to that single pylon. You get that pylon, the Nexus is no problem, and he went for it. But while he didn't end up killing the Nexus, and that was Lings, and he cut drones to get those Lings, he just very quickly droned up again. With these last batch of drones, he's at a pretty perfect count for 3 bases. Probably gonna be able to go up to 4, because Patience still has to actually reap the benefits of his 3rd base before you have to really worry about a super big attack. So
Yeah.
it is double Stargate. But the tech and the mass amount of gateways should be coming down soon too.
I mean, I'm liking the Phoenix, but it's weird to see this almost as a follow-up. He's not revealed this because the Void Ray is what killed the Overlord, so it's not like a Phoenix surprise attack has ever been the most devastating thing in the world, but these Hydras won't be prepared for it. Oh, he's prismatically aligned, and that's tearing down that Nexus pretty quick, or say the hatchery pretty quick.
Yeah, that was a Void Ray that's actually gonna get outs, which is surprising. Usually these things die pretty quickly. We've been seeing a lot more of these single Void Rays. They make sense versus Roaches, rather. And in some ways Ravagers, because they're not really supposed to die to Curse with Biles. But with Phoenixes out, you think they would also have done the job, too. That is a lot of Phoenixes. That's like a flying V of Phoenixes. Get him.
Well, closing on in. Again, it's like it's a really small amount of Hydras. In fact, killing the Overlords is pretty good damage too. It's gonna force Soulkey to waste larva on more Overlords, but also a lot of minerals to replace the ones he loses. Twin's gonna get picked off pretty quickly. Starts going for the Hydras instead. Oh dear.
Soulkey has to be very careful. He can't actually show these Hydras away from the Spore Crawler until they're in actually even higher numbers. Patience is rallying his Phoenix over.
This is getting quite a few kills. I mean, this isn't devastating Soulkey just yet, but this is getting to that point where this is really annoying. We do have upgrades for Patience if he decides to go with the ground forces, but it is just more Phoenix coming across the map, and this is like a pretty stupid amount of Phoenix, frankly. Not stupid bad, but just, I mean, like, silly to look at.
12 before he starts everything else. His gateways are finally finishing up. You know, the double robo's on the way, and he just starts +2 and charge, apparently.
Actually, the double Spore Crawler is really important here. I just want to stress that if he only had one per, this would not actually stop this. This wouldn't even make them blink. No pun intended, Protoss. But the Hydra's being exposed like this, there's actually enough Phoenix to pick off about half of them. The Oracle could actually do a ton of damage as well, but looking to use it to finish off the hatchery.
Yeah, I don't even think the Phoenixes. Like, the Phoenixes are in pretty high number, but that was enough Hydralisk. 22 Hydralisk to what was 12 Phoenixes. I don't think Soulkey had to get that hatchery killed, but, you know, he has backup. So, oh well. Just transfer the drones over there.
So the thing about these Phoenix I'm worried about, we see this happen all the time, 1v1s, we always bring it up, is like, someone goes Mass Phoenix, they get great control, then they accidentally AFK over some Hydras and lose most of them.
Yeah.
If Patience is good enough to keep his control strong and not have that happen, this is great, but unfortunately he's going to need ground support, because just Phoenix versus just Hydras, in this number, the Hydra's going to take that fight.
Now, what's scary is that if Soulkey can't have like a pure Hydra army. I mean, he can't really have a pure Hydra Lurker army. It's high damage, and with the Lurkers, it's a little maybe difficult to find the right positioning, but it will also die quickly to charge lots, or storm, or disruptors, and you need some fodder. Actually, did you catch any of the IAM North American qualifiers yesterday? I think you were sleeping.
No, I slept like a rock
like a
right through
baby.
them.
Yeah, so I actually got to catch Scarlet versus Huck, and I think that was one of the problems she showcased in game number 2. Unfortunately, she didn't make it through. I have a spoiler alert if any of you were waiting to watch those VODs, I guess.
Thank you, Zombie Grub, once again reprising your role as the spoiler queen.
You only can use that when it actually matters as a spoiler. You know that one doesn't matter.
I think that's how you start slipping, though. You're like, oh, well, this one spoiler's okay, and then it's just easier and easier every single time.
I didn't even spoil the last night's SSL, so that one maybe you could have been like, why? Yeah. Anyways, she's gonna be playing again tonight, I assume. But the point is, she went for like a lot of Hydras and a lot of Lurkers, and just got actually torn apart mostly from Huck. Also, DTs suck. What was what we learned from that match. Phoenix is still alive and going to town wherever they can. Even multiple Spore Crawlers not enough. Very annoying.
Yeah, a lot of the Overlords got kind of chipped away as well. But Soulkey's got a really big counterattack coming, and he needs those Phoenix at home. They need to be grabbing the Lurkers out of the ground, hitting the Hydras in the air. The Archons and the Immortals are quite numerous. The charge lot's going to be great, but they still can't fight these Lurkers is the problem. That's where the Phoenix really will thrive. Now, he's going to try and bring these back home and get some hit and run on the way, but this dedication to a fight's really dangerous.
Yeah, Patience actually going in there loses all of his charge lots. That was questionable.
That's certainly a lot of splash damage coming out of Soulkey. Time Warp lands, but, I mean, what's it really going to catch? It's the Lurkers that are the problem, not the Hydras. So here we go with the Phoenix. They're going to pick up a lot of the Hydras on the back end of this. Of course, the Bow's going to go down on the front army. It looks like Patience is going to hold. This sends Soulkey packing, and Soulkey doesn't exactly have a ton to make new units with. In fact, out of gas at this stage.
Yeah, I guess his 4th and 5th bases, their gases were quite late, so...
Averages look so stupid.
They really do. But that's the problem with that type of composition is that, yeah, it's scary. It has a lot of DPS, and if you can't tear down those Lurkers, then your army will eventually get chunked away. But it's also just the case of Protoss armies are kind of sturdy themselves, you know? Especially when you go for Immortal Archon.
Yeah, I mean, you got Barrier, that's a free 200 health shield.
Yeah, and the charge lots, obviously, they get wrecked by the Lurkers, but any connection to the Hydras whatsoever, and they've already kind of been worth it, so...
By the way, JTDC donated $5 back when you heard John Cena's theme pop up. And it says, Rifkin, you might be a real vampire, but I'm not a fake vampire who uses ad block. That's just messed up, man. Ads are a cheap price to pay. Just pay it, people. Nice. These elves probably could have hopped on top of these lurkers if they wanted some free kills, but going for the base instead, not a bad alternative choice. The Phoenix will actually catch them. I didn't know you could lift cocoons. Today I learned.
We might have seen that with a Baneling once, and we were like, when do you ever see this?
I guess that's true. That's true. It just, yeah, it doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
So maybe somebody knew. Today I remembered is what I should have said.
Storm was not done for the last fight, and he ended up taking it. So Storm being done for this fight, I can imagine it's going to go so much better for Patience.
It should, yeah.
Soulkey did add in a couple of roaches, but he's actually also losing a couple of the lurkers here as they try and abuse this high ground.
But you know what? Patience isn't going to take this, and if he decides to turn this into a base trade, he's actually going to collapse on the army. That'll work too, but if you decide to base trade this straight up, like, he'd still win that fight, that race against time. Lurkers get absolutely shredded, and there's still a couple here to deny mining, maybe be a bit annoying, but the main portion of Soulkey's army is gone. And once again, he's finding himself having trouble getting money to make more. Whereas Patience, he's floating a bank. He's warping in. Patience is looking fan-freaking-tastic.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to take this series. That will put a Protoss in the final position, potentially. And the other bracket's still not updated.
Oh, actually, it is.
Gumiho got through.
Yeah, so the winner of this will play Gumiho in the final match. What?
I think it will be Patience.
It's looking like it's got to be. I mean, at this point, there's a Concave for Zerg, but he knocks down that base. The Lurker's still chipping away on the other side of the map, but this Immortal count is just insane. 9 Immortals, each of them with a potential barrier to pop. They are just going to tear through everything. Stalkers blink forward, and Lurkers aren't going to have the damage that they wish they did. As good as they are, GG. Soulkey is going to fall out of the qualifier. Oh, timing.